This is new to me. I've never done a stream of just talking. So this is a double first time. It's gonna be just talking, and it's also gonna be a Q&A, which I've also never done before, so I'm a bit nervous. Welcome to the bonus stream, Just Chatting and Q&A. We collected a bunch of questions on Discord and in the YouTube community tab, and I sorted them by categories, in a way. The first one got its own category, which is called Quali. And Castle Ruins was asking you a few questions about Quali and I. First question, how did you and Quali meet? Quali and I met through a Facebook group for vegan fitness people. We were both into fitness and we were both vegan. I posted something there and he responded and then we talked a little bit. But then ultimately nothing came of it. And then a year later, he posted something about his transformation from being overweight and having asthma and everything. I commented on that and we started talking, and then we started talking in DMs, and then we hit it off and never stopped. And then I invited him over because I was living at the Baltic Sea in northern Germany and he was living in eastern Germany. I said, yeah, well, I'm living by the sea, so if you ever want to come over for a visit, you know, you could. And then he came over a few weeks later and he was staying for a week, and it was like a 1 week date. That was in 2015. That's how we met. What do you love the most about him? It's like, it would be a very long answer if I would go into details now, but I think I'm just gonna say that he's a partner for life. He's not just some guy. He's like the best guy. The best guy I ever met. I remember that when I was younger, my friends always told me, Liz, you are never gonna meet a guy that ticks all your boxes. You have way too high standards. And I was always saying, I'm gonna meet my Disney prince eventually, and I did. He ticks all the boxes. He's just great. He is funny, he is kind, he is sweet, he's super smart. He does research. In even the small things, like he remembers everything. In February, I can say, oh, I would like that. And then for my birthday in November or for Christmas, I get it all of a sudden. You know, I'm not just saying, oh, he's great because he gives me shit. But he's just like the best friend one could ask for, and he's always supporting me no matter what. Even if he would not like agree with me, he would still support me. When we moved to Switzerland, for example, he supported me in my wish to do streaming full time. Not everybody would do that and say, okay, I'm gonna pay the bills and you can pursue your dream. You know, so without Quali, I wouldn't be here doing what I'm doing. So I owe him a lot in that regard alone already. Yeah, and he's just my best friend. We can talk about everything, and he's just the absolute freaking best. What does he love the most about you? I can't really answer that. I didn't ask him, but I would say probably the same. Like, I try to be there for him no matter what, and support him no matter what, and we talk about everything. By the way, we never had a fight in all these years. We never had a fight. We have arguments, but we sit down and talk them through and just open up and have like a proper adult conversation, and then we let out the emotions, and in the end we try to focus on the solution. I guess that would be his answer, but we would have to wait for him to come over and say what his answer would be about what he loves the most about me. What is your secret to happiness? Oh, there's this beautiful quote, right? I don't remember how it goes exactly, but it's something like realizing the things that you can change, the ones that you cannot change, and then moving on from that. Like, if I can change something, I won't stress about it. If I know it is what it is, then I'm not gonna go crazy about it. So I don't know if the question is related to like relationship or just in life. I think that's important to realize that some things you just can't change. And then you have to decide for yourself whether you want to move on or if you want to try to make it work. Give me the patience to accept those things which I cannot change, the courage to change those things which can be changed, and the wisdom to know the difference. Yeah, that's the quote. I thank you very much. That's exactly the quote, and I think that is very, very true. I realized in life that some things I cannot change, and some of them are not worth trying to make them work. And I also cannot accept how they are, which is one of the reasons why I am not having contact with my family anymore. They would not change. I could not accept them the way they were and how they treated me. That's why I had to eventually say, okay, this is it. I have to get out of here. I cannot live with these people anymore. It's tough, even though everything that happened between me and my family, it's hard to, I mean, they're your family. It's your mom, it's your dad. It's hard and it's heartbreaking, but it is sometimes the way it is. And you would have to evaluate whether it's worth, which pain is bigger, basically. Is the pain bigger if you stay and keep contact, or is it bigger if you cut loose and go your own way? We say don't change for other people, change for yourself. If you look in the mirror and you're unhappy about yourself because of your own thoughts and feelings, because you self-reflected, then it's great to change. But if you change to be liked by somebody else, that change won't last. The only change that really lasts is the one that you want to do for yourself, I think. So if you try to just look more appealing for a guy or a girl, or to look a certain way in front of others, then that's probably not gonna last. It's not really a change, it's just a mask you're wearing or like a role you're playing, but it won't be really you. All right, now we have a few funny questions, how I put them. The first ones are by Malakato, our lovely mod. Miss Liz, I'm big fan of your streams. Are you big fan of music? Yeah, I'm a big fan of music. I love music. You have big green eyes. Are famous because of this? I don't think I'm famous. I have hazel eyes in normal life. Maybe I can pull out a picture real quick. There you can see a little bit, but not really because it's a different color. Here you can see a little bit. Like it's green here, and then I have this like this rusty green I have here. Maybe here you can see it a bit. It's like dark green, very dark green eyes. I have big green eyes. So yeah, that's my eye color. I'm not famous. I've never been recognized on the road, so I would say no. On the photos you post on Instagram, your hair changes dramatically. Do you wear wigs? Sometimes. Have you worn wigs? Yes, I have. I have worn wigs. Will you wear wigs? Probably, again, in the future, yes. Who is your favorite mod, and why is it Malakato? I love you, mate. Obviously you're my favorite mod, Malakato, and I love you because of your humor and how you always troll me a little bit, because you're the only one who really uses the kappa emote. I made it just for you, that kappa emote, and I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you use the heck out of it. Okay, I don't know if that was meant as a funny question, the next one, but I really enjoyed that one. Aries wanted to know, what is your favorite form of potato? My favorite form of potato is, I can't really, now that I think about it, it's hard for me to pick one, but I really love fries. Like, I love the heck out of fries. And I love rosemary potatoes. Like, potato wedges baked in the oven with olive oil and a bit of garlic and then a shit ton of rosemary. That is like the shit. That is so good. I love that. I really do love that. Potato, boil and mash them, stick them in stew. Ooh. I love potatoes though. If I would have to choose between pasta, rice and potatoes, I would go potatoes anytime. So these were the a bit funny questions. Now we have a lot of questions about music. The first one's by LIZZ. You have a well-rounded and diverse taste in music. Who are some of the people, or what were some moments, events in your life that sparked your interest in music? My family, all of the people in my family are big lovers of music. We always had music running in the house. Even if everybody was doing stuff, there was always a radio, and my family would always like fight about which of the radio stations we would listen to. My father always wanted like the rocky kind of stuff. Like, he loved so many things. Queen, he really loved Queen, REM or REM, how do you say it? Like stuff in that direction. Phil Collins, Genesis, stuff like that. My mom loved to listen to classic radio, which was just playing music from movies and like classics like Mozart and Bach and Vivaldi and stuff. So she was always turning that on when my dad was at work, and my father would come home and change the radio to the more rocky kind of stuff. He also liked music like Norah Jones. My grandparents listened to Elvis and Chuck Berry and, Etta James, Louis Armstrong, but they also loved music like, for example, AC/DC. My little grandma, she's like 5 foot or so, 150 centimeters, so 1.5 meters. She's like up to here when I stand. She's like teeny tiny, right? She's like this super cute little grandma. and so sweet, always smiling. And whenever Thunderstruck would be running from AC/DC, she would always say that she feels like robbing a bank when she's hearing that song, which was so cute. And it's especially funny since my grandpa, her husband, used to be a police officer, a high-rank police officer. So he was always like... It was always funny. So yeah, I was basically growing up with music being all around me all the time. And I'm grateful that there were so many different kinds of music that I was exposed to, because that made me appreciate all kinds of music these days. My brother, for example, same thing. He loved classic and rock, but he was more the metal kind of influence for me. So my brother really loved heavy metal and everything, rock, gothic. So he introduced me to lots of bands. And then I got all the music and also movie tastes from my parents and my grandparents. So that was basically the first influence for all of these. So yeah, basically my family and my friends in school. I always just walked through life and people recommended music to me and I was like, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, keep. Next question. If you could have dinner with any 3 musicians, bands, alive or not, who would they be? I have 4. But you want 3, oh no. It can be 4, Phew, okay, good. So I would say, I would love to talk to Whitney Houston, Michael Jackson, Freddie Mercury, and Paramore. The first, because I was growing up with that music and I loved them, and I think they were the greatest musicians of their time. All of them have insane vocals, all of them. They have they are role models for me when it comes to music. I was trying to sing along with Whitney Houston, Michael Jackson, and Freddie Mercury from Queen. All of them are so good, and Hayley Williams has insane vocals, and she's such a sweetheart, and she's so sympathetic. I just love her. Paramore is one of my favorite bands, but I could never say what my favorite band is. So yeah, if I could sit down with them, probably those people. But there's so many good musicians, and I would struggle to really exclude people from it because there's so many good ones. Will we get an Anna Dimitri and LIZZ duet sometime? We already agreed on a song. We wanted to sing A Whole New World from Aladdin together in as a duet, and I would sing Jasmine and she would sing Aladdin. I'm just waiting for her to record her part. Go harass her. I'm just kidding. But yeah, we're gonna sing together. All right. So the next question is by Pancake Party. Who are the singers, bands, musicians you would love to see live? No limits at all. Can include those not with us anymore. I guess that would be the same answer pretty much. I would love to see Freddie Mercury. I would love to see Michael. I would love to see Whitney. Definitely Paramore. I heard their shows are so good. I have to say, though, that I'm not a big fan of going to concerts. I've been to a festival once in my life, and I've been to a few open-air concerts in Kieler Woche, which is a thing in northern Germany where all the sailors come and meet and they do sailing races and whatever. I've seen a few concerts there, but it's too many people and it's too noisy, and people screaming at the top of the lungs in the wrong note, at the wrong pitch, and not hitting the tones, I think that would piss me off. You come there and you want to listen to a musician and you probably pay a bunch of money, and then people are just screaming over the music. I would be annoyed at that. I would rather just chill at home and listen to the music in peace. Like I said, I've just been to a couple, and I don't know, maybe it depends. It's like coming to a movie for me and there's some kid, really loud kid, or some idiots who are talking behind you or in front of you and you don't hear the movie properly. It's ugh. that would ruin the experience for me. Love to ask if you know any songs in Spanish. I know the song Llorona from Coco. I don't know if it's a real Spanish song. Ay, mi llorona, llorona de azul celeste. You know that one? I would love to be able to sing more songs in different languages, and that is actually a nice move over to the next question by Avi. You have sung a few songs in few other languages. I would like to know if you have ever heard any Hindi songs or would be interested in singing any in the future if you ended up liking them. I heard a few. I think just being a person that uses the internet, I think you just end up listening to music sometimes. I like them, but I don't know if I could learn it as easily because I would have to learn to read the alphabet first. Unless there's a version to convert the languages into our alphabet and then be able to pronounce that. That is like the hardest thing, you know. Like, do I learn a new language to sing one song? I usually just mimic the sounds that I know. Like, I just replicate the sound that I hear, not always knowing every word. I mean, I know the lyrics from Varisång from like in Swedish. Den blomstertid nu kommer, l'avion rose. I don't know, like a completely new language with a completely new alphabet would be quite challenging for me. But I wouldn't be against it. If it's a really nice song, I wouldn't mind learning it. Oh, there's the first questions from L-Razor. I know you have mentioned you like all kinds of music, but do you have any favorite bands, artists now or when you were growing up? If so, which? Favorite bands or artists? I think it changes a lot. Like if you look at my life, it's like in chapters and the music is different depending on the chapter, I would say. I don't know if you guys can relate. I mean, of course your taste changes over the time, right? But also the music in your lifetime changes, like the greatest hits of the time and stuff change as well. So I remember when I was little, I was listening to the stuff that my family, of course, brought to me and I was exposed to. I always had MTV and Viva, like those were the two TV channels that were constantly running music. And I was always zapping between those two back and forth. If I didn't like a song, I'm like, okay, let's go check out the other one. When I was like very young, I would listen to Avril Lavigne, for example, and Evanescence and Within Temptation, Rammstein, Subway to Sally, Schandmaul. So it was like very rock heavy and very like some medieval music sprinkled in. Paramore has been ongoing since I was young till today. I still love Paramore. I think they're great. I may or may not had a crush on Hayley Williams too. Like she's gorgeous and so sweet and so talented. What is a band, artist, performer you would love to witness live? Paramore, probably. But I would have to think about it if there's probably way more. What's the music you listen to that you're kind of embarrassed about? For me, that would be Scooter or Blümchen, maybe. Oh my god, I forgot one thing. One big influence, music-wise, for me, Disney movies. When it comes to music, when you wonder what is like a big influence music-wise, for me, that was Disney. I was growing up watching Disney. My parents, when they wanted me to shut up and leave them alone, but to be honest, I always played by myself, so I was an introverted kid already. If they wanted to just make sure that we are sitting still in one slot for like 1.5 hours, TV on, Disney movie, I'd be quiet. I'd be just sitting there and enjoying it. And I was singing along. I love the music still. I love to listen to them now in German and in English. It's very interesting. I've been on a journey of watching the movies in English now because I only watched them in German as a kid. So it's quite interesting to see the change of lyrics, and the voices, of course, are different too. But yeah, that is a very, very, very big influence for music for me. Am I embarrassed about any music that I listen to? I don't think I ever listened to music that I really enjoyed that I now think that was embarrassing. All right, so Colcut was asking, how did you get into singing? Did you start singing when you were streaming already? I joined the community when the singing was already established, and I guess most others also don't know. I think I already answered that question pretty much. I started singing along when I was very little and I was watching Disney movies. After watching the movies over and over, I kind of knew the lyrics even at a very young age, and I could sing along. And that's what I've done. And that got me into singing in the first place, and then constantly music running in the household. I was singing along with that as well. That got me started. I had a friend, or still have a friend, who was also very much into music. We were always singing together. We would go outside. We had a very similar home situations, our parents being what they were or are. We were both not allowed to express that urge to sing at home. So we were outside a lot, and we would be meeting up and singing together in duets and stuff. The circumstances were a bit sad, but what came out of it was nice. The next question was on YouTube, Krishna Refagusta. Which your favorite songs if you make a video cover? I don't really have favorites in general. I don't have a favorite movie, a favorite song, a favorite band. So I'm not a person to have favorites in general, so that is always a hard question for me. I always struggle with when people ask, what's your favorite DLC? What's your favorite game? What's your favorite book? What's your favorite in general? I struggle with that question. My favorite song to make a video cover of it, though? Or maybe the question is, what is my favorite video cover that I made of a song? That would probably be Blood Upon the Snow from Hosier from God of War Ragnarok. I put lots of time into cutting that video. Pretty happy with the result. Like, not happy, but it's okay. But yeah, I don't really have a favorite song. How many dialects in German and English, British can you do? Like, I have a Northern German accent, or dialect, more like, and I can mimic the Saxon one. I lived there 4 years, but I'm very, very shy about it. British, I can't really do anything English-wise. I can do a little bit of like an exaggerated Southern American accent. So I see in your About section, it says your race is Nord. Do you have Scandinavian family or are you into Norse mythology? I was born and raised at the Danish border in northern Germany, which used to be part of Scandinavia. And I did a DNA test. So my family always said that our family used to be Vikings. And I wanted to see if it's true and wanted to check the DNA. So I did a DNA test and it said that I'm 83% from Sweden, which goes well with what my family always told me. And the rest, the last 17%, were where I was actually growing up. So like just the shore of the Baltic Sea. So yeah, I have Scandinavian shield made in blood running in my veins. And I always felt very attracted to that whole thing, so I went with that as a bit of the design on the channel as well. Which Michael Jackson song is your favorite, or few songs? I really like Heal the World, and the one with the best message, in my opinion, is Man in the Mirror. Just because it's so, if you want to make a world a better place, take a look at yourself, make that change. You know, it's like, I really like the message of the song. If you want to improve, you have to start with yourself. If you want to make the situation better, you can only change yourself. Favorite instrument, if any? Okay, what is my favorite instrument? Can I say 2? Oh god, can I say 3? Oh god. It's not a favorite, like I said, I cannot pick favorites. I appreciate so many things in life, I cannot pick favorites. So I really love piano, of course, just plain piano, great. I love acoustic guitar. And now this is gonna be weird. I love bagpipes. I love bagpipes because I think they're awesome. I don't know if you guys know the movie Braveheart. It's a very, very important movie to me and my story just in life. And when I have a really bad moment in my life and I just need to like sit there in my emotions and just think about things and just calm down, I'm listening to the soundtrack of Braveheart. And the music in that movie, it's so good. I think it's great. It is so good. And I love bagpipes. And I think they're so original and so creative. I mean, just the thought of it, like how did this instrument come to be? Like with all these pipes and the bag and the squeezing and the blowing in and I don't know. It's but kudos to that one person who came up with that. It's great. Bagpipes are great. So if you guys don't know the soundtrack of Braveheart, maybe give it a listen if you like soundtracks in general. Did you do choir? I wanted to join the school choir. I was kicked out. I was kicked out because I was supposed to sing in an alt voice and I was singing an octave higher. And they said, no, you're doing it wrong. She's not listening to our orders. She's out. I just felt like higher sounds better and higher feels better. So I was singing the same tone, but just one octave higher. And they were like, yep, no, out with her. Instead of saying, okay, we have a soprano here, they were like, no, you're not listening. Which is why I'm so incredibly shy about singing, because my parents didn't allow me to sing at home and I got kicked out of choir. So I thought I'm singing bad and I'm singing horribly and I sound horrible and nobody should ever hear me, which is why I'm so insecure about singing. But in the years on Twitch, you guys punched that out of me. And now I'm relatively comfortable with singing. Unless there's a song for the first time that I'm singing in front of you guys, then I'm like, my heart is here. Like dong dong dong. That I'm getting like, oh god, I'm so excited, I'm so nervous, I'm gonna mess it up. Did you ever sing in front of a crowd IRL? I sang in front of my friends Christmas 2011, but I was kind of in the other room and the door was open. I was too anxious. That was the first time I ever sang in front of people. And then I think a year later or two, I was singing in front of my family for the first time. Since they didn't allow me to do that my entire life, my aunt was asking me if I could sing something because I said I really liked singing, and she was like, yep, sing something. And I was like, okay. So I was singing Imagine a King by Whitney Houston. It's a Christmas song, and it was Christmas, and they really loved it, and they said I should go to Germany's Next Talent or whatever it's called, as you know, these music shows on TV. And I said no. Would like the idea of acting as well. At least voice acting. I would love to voice act. Especially anything CD Projekt Red, but that is like dreams. You know, that's the things that I'm secretly dreaming about. Or not so secret because I'm telling you guys, but doing anything with CD Projekt Red would be like, goals, dreams. Music for me is a hobby. I have no training. I have no experience other than just like opening my mouth and stuff coming out, you know? And I don't pursue anything with it. I just do that because it's my hobby. I just have fun doing it. I have fun sitting down and editing videos for it, but that's all. Oh, now come the questions about streaming, guys. Who edits your videos and designs your miniatures? They're really good. I used to edit my videos. Now my friend and mod Constable does that, or Consti. The emotes, I guess you mean, the green little lizards. I draw them myself. Who designed your thumbnails? That was the word. Oh, on YouTube, I do that. I try to do as much as possible myself, but I realized that I could not stream 5 times a week for 5 or 6 hours and then also edit the videos for 3 hours. I did that for half a year. That every day was 8-9 hours of working on the PC. Then on top of that, also the thumbnails for half an hour, then anything else that I had to do. And on top of answering comments on YouTube, and there was no time for real life anymore, so I decided to hire an editor, and thankfully, Consti, who is my lovely mod, was available, which made it incredibly easy as well, because I didn't have to like look for somebody actually. I just had one in my bubble already, so that was, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for you. If you don't know Consti, I'm so grateful for you. You're taking so much work off my shoulders, and I'm so happy with it. Thank you. Yeah, some applause. I mean, all the mods are great. Howl is the one who is doing lots with the emotes, and all of the mods are just doing so much for me. I'm so grateful for the moderators as like help with the channel, help as just a friend, as emotional support, being here, spending time here, reading through the comments, helping me with giveaways and whatever, all the nonsense that I'm doing all the time. So all of you mods, love you loads. Thank you so much for the time you invest into my streams. Best mod team. What influenced you to become a streamer years ago? Was asked by Dan. I remember I was a bit bored. I didn't know what to do with my time. I didn't feel like reading anymore, so I wanted to do something else. I had my Xbox 360, so I played a bit of Dragon Age Origins, and I was eventually buying a gaming PC. I always just got hand-me-downs from my brother or my dad. So later on, I bought my first gaming computer, and I was playing some games that I always wanted to play. Before, I was only playing the games that I got from my brother, but I never bought a game for myself. I remember that I was checking out stuff for that game, The Forest, on YouTube, and I found Farkid, if you guys don't know him, an Australian content creator about survival horror games, or predominantly The Forest and Sons of the Forest. And also I found a group of German streamers. Yeah, they were live streaming on YouTube. I was trying to guide them to get a certain item in the game, and I don't know, I felt like this is fun. I could do this. I would enjoy this, especially since I used to always hang out every weekend with my friends and play video games. They would be gaming, I would be hanging out and watching, and I don't know, I kind of missed that when I moved away and I couldn't hang out with them every weekend. So I thought this would be a kind of a good substitute, right? I sit down, I game for the first time, really. Like, I just played a few games before. I was always just replaying the same games over and over, like Fable 2 and Morrowind, stuff like that. I was just playing them over and over, but I was never purchasing any new games. So yeah, that was new. I upgraded the internet that we had and started streaming on YouTube back then in 2018. And that was how it all started. And then one of my friends said, Liz, you have to go over to Twitch. That is better for streaming. I remember how he said, there's a bunch of booby streamers, but you don't have to do that. And yeah, so I went over to Twitch. I think Twitch is way better for streaming. I love Twitch, especially since of this community feeling. I feel way more connected to having you guys as my community on Twitch than what I had on YouTube. Even at the same age, like, or channel size back then. I had like 120 viewers sometimes on YouTube, and then I moved over and started from 0 on Twitch. What any advice you have for someone who wants to become a YouTuber streamer, first time ever, like how to be confident on camera? Who says you have to be confident on camera? You don't have to be. You just be yourself. That would be my first advice. Don't try to be something you're not. Just be yourself. I would say being authentic is better than being something you're not, just because you think it pleases somebody. Don't try to copy somebody. Don't try to chase the fame of somebody else. Just be yourself. And then I think the next question is kind of related to that, the advice stuff. Do you advise to start with a phone camera first to see how it will go before investing into good equipment? The most important thing about streaming, I think, it has been proven a lot, is that the camera is not the most important thing. You can even stream without a camera. The first thing that you should focus on is having good audio. Most people are lurking. Vast majority of people watching are always those who just have the audio. They sometimes don't even watch what's going on in the stream, they just listen. So make sure you have good audio quality and a good microphone. It doesn't have to be like the most expensive stuff, but there's some low budget good microphones out there. I would always recommend to check out Harris Heller. If you look for him on YouTube, you will find him. I think it's now Senpai Gaming or something. Changed his name on YouTube, but he's doing like the top 5 budget microphones, the top 5 budget webcams, or he's like, there's a lot of advice out there. One of the general advices I would give in pursuing of becoming content creator is do your research. If you want to be doing this, you need to work a lot. Pretty much all the time. It's a full-time job. You need to be enjoying that. Consistency is key, of course. If you cannot sit down and do your own research, you might not want to do this. I feel like lots of people are struggling with becoming a content creator, and they come to me and say, what do I wrong? What could I do better? All the information is out there. They are not willing to sit down and look it up themselves. YouTube and Google are so helpful. I did everything from scratch. I taught myself everything, how to set up OBS, and I'm a pro at OBS. I can do everything in OBS myself. I just learned these things. If you're really interested in something, and that goes for life in general, if you're really interested in pursuing something, if you're passionate about something, you will enjoy sitting down learning about it. I know that schools ruined a lot of people in that regard, but if you're really, really, really interested in something, you will enjoy learning about the details and how to become self-sufficient and being able to do things yourself. That goes with streaming. If you do not enjoy sitting down learning how to set up OBS, then maybe streaming or content creation gamer on YouTube is not your thing, because you need to be able to troubleshoot on your own. You should not be sitting there and calling somebody else, be like, can you help me set up my OBS? There's something wrong. I cannot stream right now. Can you teach me? You need to be able to do that yourself. You need to. You need to. I know it sucks, but if you don't have the resources to hire a bunch of people from the get-go to like do everything for you, it's necessary that you are able to teach it to yourself. That is the most important thing. You need to be able to sit down and put your head into the research and try and test and learn and do the work. I know that people don't want to hear that. They just want to be sliding in your DMs and ask, can you tell me how this works? Can you tell me how that works? Can you tell me what I'm doing wrong? Can you tell me this? Blah, 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 blah. You cannot go around and expect people to spend their lifetime doing the work for you. You need to be able to sit down and learn. That's what I had to do. I remember that I was opening OBS back then, and I was like, Quali, do you know how this works? And he has like, I have no idea. And then he was continuing with his stuff, so I had to sit down and I had to watch hundreds of videos and read hundreds of forum entries on Reddit and whatnot to teach myself those things, and now I'm good at it. And that is, sadly, I would say, a requirement for this line of work. If you want to, you need to be able to sit down and do the work. I sometimes get questions asked that if you would type the exact same question that I get in the chat or my DMs or the comments, if you take that and type it into Google, you would get the perfect answer. That is the biggest advice I would give anybody who wants to pursue content creation as a streamer, YouTuber, gamer. Job skills, exactly. It is, if you want to become a streamer or content creator in general full time, it is like you are studying a line of work. You need to be able to analyze statistics. You need to be able to learn the software. It is what it is. It's coming with a job. Not everybody is made for that. I've seen quite a few people starting as a content creator, even doing relatively good, becoming partner and all this stuff, and then they realized they don't want to do this all the time, and then they quit. It is not for everybody. It is not just sitting down, pushing a button, and then playing a video game and then turning it off again. That is one of the smallest parts of the line of work. And I'm not complaining. I love this. I am grateful every morning that I get up and I get to do this. I am excited to start my day. I'm happily getting out of bed, making a coffee, sitting down, and then doing the things that I do. And I'm doing most of the stuff myself. Like, I edit the shorts, I make the emotes, I make the overlays, I make the thumbnails. Apart from editing now for YouTube these long videos, which QandA took over in April, and sometimes the animated emotes that I put on Howl, everything else is done by myself, and I wouldn't have it any other way. Because I love that. I love doing this. I specifically started recording YouTube videos that are off stream, just like little games, little playthroughs that I want to, because I just enjoy the games. And I started that because I felt like I still want to edit a few things. And because they might not be as interesting for streams. I love doing that. I have so much fun, and I love learning new editing skills and teaching myself how to do things, and like testing my skills and the limits of the software that I use to create things. I enjoy that so much. It's so much fun. I really love this. So I'm very, very grateful that I get to do what I get to do because of you guys and your support. So every day I'm grateful for the lizards. So thank you very much, guys. I don't know if you guys are aware of how grateful I am. I'm living my dream. I get to do all the things that I love, and I'm crying now because I'm so happy. I am literally the happiest I've ever been in my life since I got to do this. And I'm so passionate about this, and I'm so grateful. And I wish I could hug you all. I'm so grateful for every one of you guys who is supporting me by spending time with me, hanging out, having a good time, playing video games, or enjoys the music, or, you know, tosses a sub or a biddies, or, you know, like, you guys help me so much, and Quali too. So I'm forever grateful. And I hope I can do this for many years to come, because I don't want to change anything. I want to do this forever until I, you know, kick the bucket. I'm just so grateful every freaking day. I tell that Quali all the time that I'm just loving life, and I'm so grateful. And now that we're living in this house, you know, I'm like, damn. Isaac, I'm so grateful for everything that I have in life. What kind of work would you like to do if you could not do the streaming anymore? When I started this, I had 2 businesses. I was like starting to work on the streaming, but before that I was doing emote work for streamers. So if I would not be streaming myself anymore, I would probably go back to being an emote artist and create emotes for others, because that's fun. And I love doing that. The next question by Fadian of the Mountains. What are your future goals on Twitch and YouTube? Like, what do you hope to manage to get to, and of course surpass that? I would like, for Twitch, become an ambassador. I've been dreaming about that for quite some time now. I applied a few times now. I know it's hard to stick out of the masses. I'm a pretty generic girl, just sitting here playing video games. Sometimes I sing. So I guess I'm not really sticking out of the crowd enough, but a girl can dream, right? So I would really love to become a Twitch ambassador one day. I think we have a very wholesome community here, and I mean, everybody is welcome here. I would really like to contribute with my feedback and my opinion and my ideas to developing Twitch, like changing for the better. You know, I would just like to partake. Instead of just being a user, I would like to help shape Twitch. And I've been dreaming about that for quite some time. So I hope that maybe one day I can become a Twitch ambassador. That is one of the dreams that I have. Another like dream, or more like goal, and I think we're gonna reach that not too far in the future, is get these statues that they now added. I don't know if you guys know, but they have on Twitch, they have these plaques that you can now unlock with watch time. And I'm at 4.03 million of 5 million watch hours. And then I get one of these bleed purple statues. You guys know these bleed purple emotes, right? Content creators on Twitch who have 5 million watch hours get the purple one. And then there's one for 50 million. And then there's like even more. We're not too far away from that. I would really like to have that and just have it in the background. That would be pretty cool. I mean, it's just a statue. I don't want to have it for like the physical thing, but it represents the time you guys invested into watching me, and that means a lot. And I would like to have that standing there as a reminder for all of you, like you did this, that's on you. It's not me, it's you. It's like you guys, that is representing the time you spent with me, and that'd be great. That'd be great to have. Next goal that I'm dreaming of on Twitch, and I think pretty much the last one, is to unlock all the emote slots. I'm a bit sad that they are linked to subscriber points. I wish I could change that and say I decide on my own when we unlock them. I love emotes. I love creating emotes. It makes me so happy to see you guys use the emotes. I love to hear when you guys like them, or people come in and say, oh my god, I saw your emotes there and there and they're so cute. Stuff like this just makes my day. And I love to hear the story of people saying, hey, I met a fellow chonk over there in this stream, and it's just so sweet and it warms my heart. And this green chonky lizard became the representative of this community and the face of it, and it just makes me happy. and it's a bit, it's so high. Like the sub goal is so high for that, but I dream that one day we have them all unlocked, and it's so far off. But it would be so great. Which is why I always do that in Subtember. You know, every year so far, you guys unlocked, I think last year you unlocked 6 or 7 emote slots. The year before it was 11 emote slots, you know, like every year you guys unlocked emote slots. And of course it gets more and more challenging. So I never expect anything, but it's a dream that I have, which is why I always try to plan some fun things for September, because I know you guys are going overboard with the support in September. But yeah, if I could, I would lower or erase the limit with subscription points and just get all those emotes. I would just love to have them. Okay, on YouTube, I just don't have really... I mean, it would be cool to hit the 100,000 subscribers and get the silver plaque thing. So I could have the Twitch bleed purple and the YouTube plaque just chilling next to each other somewhere in the background. That'd be nice. But yeah, I think that's just a thing that might happen naturally. I started the YouTube channel and it's basically just a VOD channel, slightly edited, but we are already at almost 40,000 at this point. Okay, so the next question is by Digit. What has been your most memorable moment of your Twitch journey to date? There've been a lot. There've been really a lot good moments that I remember, but one of the ones that challenged me personally a lot was my first time on the front page, and I was playing GTA 5. And I was playing that moment where you are hacking a computer with Michael, I think his name is. There's a bunch of porn ads popping up on that screen in the game. And I was so uncomfortable. I was so freaking uncomfortable. It made me so nervous. I was like, oh my god, they're gonna ban me now. I've been never breaking any rules, but they're gonna ban my ass out of Twitch now. Oh god, I was so nervous and I was like, oh my god. This is the worst. That was so funny. Nothing happened, everything was fine, but that was funny. That was very memorable, but on the same time, on the same day, on that stream, I was also singing, and I had a peak viewer of 14,000. That was the highest I've ever had, viewer-wise, and it was mind-blowing. You guys, I already told you that I am incredibly shy about about singing and like nervous and self-conscious, and I was having 14,000 viewers when I was singing, so that was definitely memorable. Definitely in my mind every now and again. I just want to remind you, when in Cyberpunk you went into the snoo snoo shop and went on a murder spree with a dildo. Oh god, Sir Long John, or what is the weapon? There's like this weapon in Cyberpunk that is like a vibrating dildo, and you can slap people with it. And you hear like the brrrr sound of the vibrating. And yeah, I remember that vividly, going into that shop in Cyberpunk, and there were like black dildos as long as my leg, and I was like, what are they gonna do with that thing? Oh my god. I was hoping they were used as weapons. Everything else would be torture. Anyways, guys, moving on. Next question. What are the top 5 moments of your streaming career? Any core memories stand out? Pretty much similar as the one from Digit, but 5 now. 5. The day that I hit the partner requirement and I could apply was one. Then followed by 6 months of applying and getting denied. Although I had the base requirements, but my reviewer on Twitch was very, very picky. Like, you know, I had people around me who barely or not even have met the requirements, and they got partnered, just handed out. And with me, my reviewer was like, nope. They wanted me to hit the minimum requirement every single stream. Not on average, every single stream. That was a bit tough, but in the end it made me stronger. And in the end, I made it through. And that day was great. I remember waking up in the morning, drinking coffee, opening my emails, and getting that one email that said, you've been accepted to the partner program on Twitch. It was exactly to the day 1 week before my birthday. So now I'm always on Twitch. I'm celebrating my birthday and partner week. The 12th of November is my partner birthday, and then the 19th is my birthday, LIZZ birthday. So November is always very special. We've done a 30-hour subathon 2 years ago during Subtember. That was the longest stream I've done. 30 hours, you guys unlocked that back then. Also unlocked 11 emote slots that year. That was absolutely nuts. Oh man, that was so fun. I've done so much that stream. We've done, we did cooking, we did a workout stream. I was working out on the spin bike. Then we did reading, sleeping, gaming, all kinds of games, just chatting. We've done so much that stream. That was wild. That was a very memorable day. I had lots of fun that day, but sheesh, was that exhausting. I don't know how some streamers can play or like stream 12 hours every day. I don't know how they can do that. I can't. That's why I have to keep the 12-hour streams and so a bit like special, because some people can do that. I don't know where they take the energy. I can't do that. I cannot sit down and be focused and do all the things like reading and gaming and like making sure the tech is working and the lighting is perfect and, blah, 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 and the sound is good and blah, and then for 12 hours every day. Oh my god. I don't know how they do that. So the next one is from YouTube, Fonfano. I see a lot of streamers have a huge team behind them, but what I know of you is that you do almost all the work yourself. How do you manage to do that? Oh, and hugs from Brazil. Greetings from Switzerland. I do most of the stuff myself, yes. I draw the overlays, design stuff like this, draw the emotes, animate most of the emotes, design my own merch. By the way, there's a new merch, XXL mouse mat. If you haven't noticed, guys, in this moss and green dark scales in the background design, if you're interested. I mean, I'm not streaming too long anymore. It's 5 hours, 5.5, sometimes 6 hours a stream, 5 times a week. And then I don't have to draw that many emotes, unless you guys unlock stuff then, of course. Or sometimes the muse comes over and gives me a kiss, and then I feel like drawing something. I hired QandA as my editor in April this year, and before that I was editing it myself. It was quite time consuming, but I enjoyed doing it, and I still sometimes try to record a video just for YouTube to still have an excuse to edit, because I really like the editing process. Whether I would go for 8 hours to the office somewhere, or if I do 8 hours streaming and then editing stuff and like putting things together, it's a bit like working from home. So I kind of have one person in the team that works regularly. so to say. And then I have lots of help with the mods, helping me with decisions like, hey guys, is this better or that better? Like that thumbnail or that thumbnail. I always include the mods. I always bother them with all my requests, and I always want feedback. So I have a dedicated channel on Discord where I'm asking for content feedback, how I call it, and then I'm always happy to hear improvement. You know, Howl is working 3D and has a really good eye for videos. Consti is, as an editor and photographer, also has a great eye for that. David is always helping with like spelling and like my English expressions and stuff. So I always have like everybody is giving a bit of feedback to stuff, and then that is one of the reasons why the things turn out to be okay in the end. And sometimes I have to do things over and over and over until I get it right. Is it like a small team? Is this your full-time job? Yes, it is. Since November 19. Back then I couldn't pay the bills with it, but since then I started streaming with a schedule. Before that I was just streaming whenever I had an hour or two to squeeze in my day. The next questions are personal questions, which is the biggest bunch of them all. Oh, that is a good question. What did you do before streaming? I am a trained social worker. I was working in a mother-child home, which is when mothers of all age, mostly young women though, need help in raising their kids. Some of them came into the home when they were still pregnant, and then we helped them prepare, then the care after the delivery. So that was a part of my working time. I worked with an autistic child in an elementary school, and I was just accompanying her through her day, which was quite the challenge, especially since I'm also, which I know now, I'm also in the spectrum. So we clashed a few times, you know, like we never fought or anything, but it's hard when you're autistic and you want to do it a certain way, and then the other person is also autistic and they want it another way, and you're like, it was challenging. It was an interesting journey though, those years. Before that, I was working with people who were still consuming drugs, like heroin and crack and speed and whatever, everything, and then help them to include them in social life, in society, helping them with runs to the officials, get things done, you know, give them a place to live. We had daily breakfast and lunch time with them where we included them in the process of making the breakfast, making the lunch, going grocery shopping, and then cooking together, and you know, just stuff like this, which was sometimes a bit scary. There was some people were a bit violent. One guy who I had a disagreement with, he was breaking a rule, and he always had a knife in his little vest that he was wearing. And one day he was not happy with me, especially since I was so young, and he was like, I don't know, like in his late 60s or so. It could be scary, but it was very fun and entertaining in a weird way. Like I had great conversations with these people, and they were so interesting. Like, I think lots of people don't get that they're not making a decision. Some of them were raised in a household where that was the only possible outcome. For example, there was a woman, she was in her early 20s, and she got hooked on drugs when she was 8 because of her mom. Her mom basically allowed her boyfriends to do things with this 8-year-old child. How are you getting out of this? How do you live with that? I mean, it's very dark stories, and you grow to understand and have a bit more respect for these people when you see them. You know, it's like very, very bad stories that I heard there. Nobody is how they are because they choose. There's always influences in life that happen to people that shape the character and the person they become. The same like with bullies. Usually a bully is not just like because it's fun, but because they maybe don't know how to handle people that are different. Maybe they're also bullied at home. Shine the light away from themselves onto somebody else. There's always a story. That was my life before I was starting to become a streamer. The Last Green Man was asking, what is living in Switzerland like? Since I was born and raised in Germany, I would say it's not too different. I mean, they speak funny over here. They have a very different dialect. I would even go so far to say that Swiss German is a completely different language than normal German or regular German. But I try my best to learn it. I mean, I'm very introverted, and most of the time I'm speaking English. So I'm not really talking to many people here other than like the delivery guy or the cashier at the store. So that's mostly my contact with Swiss German. Other than that, I love the country. You know, even with the language, I'm not excluding the language, but I love the country. I just love being here. I love how much nature is everywhere. I love how there's public wells with drinkable water everywhere where you can just go and take a sip when you're out hiking and stuff. I love how you see forests everywhere and mountains. I basically, if I go on a walk here, there's lots of farms and willows, and then there is mountains, and it looks like I'm living in Skyrim. Like there's these clouds that are, you know, being broken open by massive mountains, and like there's snow even in summer, hot summer days, and the top, you know, is like gorgeous. I'm living in paradise here. The only thing that I'm missing is the ocean. Even in bigger cities that I've been to in Switzerland, there's always lots of green, which I always very value. Like I'm a nature lover. I could never live in a big city. I need the countryside to feel comfortable and at home, and I'm glad there's so much nature around. The next question is also about Switzerland. JM Raisin was asking, do Swiss really keep a gun under their pillow? I do not know. I've never went to the bedroom of a Swiss person and looked under the pillow. I know that Swiss people have lots of resources to prepare for certain scenarios. I know that there's lots of public bunkers everywhere, and that lots of Swiss people have their own bunkers in their house. And I know that a lot of Swiss people actually own guns, but I never looked under a pillow, so I don't know. Matthias asked, how did you end up in Switzerland? We did not like how Germany was developing in many regards, like as a society, politically, and we decided to move out of Germany. So we were thinking about which country to go to, and I was drawn to Sweden mostly because I always wanted to go there, and I feel I feel this connection to northern countries. But Quali had family in Switzerland, and so also it's a border country, right? And also in Switzerland you kinda speak German. Everybody learns High German, like the German that I speak in school. So they all technically can speak it, at least in the German-speaking part of Switzerland. Switzerland has 4 national languages: Italian, French, German, and Rätoromansch. We could speak in German, so that makes sense to go into a country that is, you know, culturally pretty much the same, speaks the language, is next door, and has like a political system that you can more agree with than where you're coming from. So it was ticking a lot of boxes, and even having family here, that helped, of course. I remember watching a YouTube video of a content creator that I like, and she was saying the perfect moment to start the things that you want to do is now. Not tomorrow, not when the time is right. The time will never be right. It will never be perfect. There will always be excuses. Do it now. And I was watching that video, and then it was off. And I was like, let's move. Let's do it. Let's get out of here. Let's move to another country. I want to do it. That was the video that triggered the whole thing. Couple of days later, we had quit our jobs. We had quit our flat, and we were looking at places in Switzerland. I did that, but moved on from people. Sometimes you got to do that too, yeah. And then another question from Matthias is not about Switzerland now. Next question, basically. How's the hand doing? Any healing process? No. The hand is so far not better. It is the 10th of September, so I don't know when you're going to see this, but so far it's not better. I'm going to go to the chiropractor on Thursday in 2 days, and I am keeping all my fingers and everything crossed in hopes that it will be fixed when I come back from the chiropractor. I hope he's gonna like straighten everything and put back in place so that I won't have any pain anymore, and then I could come back to playing all the video games that I want to play. I would really love to continue Elden Ring. I would like to play the DLC, get my ass handed to myself. Love to play Black Myth Wukong, maybe Space Marine 2. There's so many games out that I would really like to play. How difficult was it to move to Switzerland? Remember, citizenship is not that easy to get necessarily. Citizenship, you need to be in one community, not just in one like canton or like state for a certain time, but you need to be in the same community for 12 years, and then you have to do a test with like speaking the language and stuff, so before you can get the citizenship. But we are the next best thing now. We are level C immigrants. We are basically allowed to be here permanently unless we break any laws. So we don't have to do any tests anymore. We just have to, like everybody else, renew our ID. All right, guys, we are halfway through with my sheet, so I have to answer more questions. We gotta go. The next question was, Malakato, who is your favorite Disney princess and why? Oh god, that is so hard. I keep going through the list, and I just watched Brave for the very first time in my life the other day, and I really loved her. Maybe she's my new favorite. But like nostalgic Liz wants to say Belle. Is she a princess? She's not really a princess, is she? She's just like a normal girl. I guess Merida. Merida? I really like her. She's badass. She's like, I'm not gonna marry some ass. I wanna win my own hand in archery and show everybody that nobody can best me. And I'm gonna fight for my own hand. I'm gonna break tradition, you know. I kind of liked her a lot. She was cool. And God, is the game, the movie gorgeous. Have you guys seen it? I don't know how old the movie is at this point, but I was watching this for the first time like 4 days ago or so, and I was like, damn, the graphics, the hair animation, Pog. Brave, Merida, so great, so great. So I would probably say her. She's pretty cool. But then, like, just for nostalgic reasons, and if it could be anyone, I really love Belle as well. She reads, she's sweet, she has a beautiful voice. You know, as a kid, I was like, she has the same hair color as me, so I can't relate to that. You know, back in the day, everybody was blonde. Like, what's her name? Cinderella, blonde. Sleeping Beauty, blonde. Everybody was blonde, and I was like, oh. And then I watched Beauty and the Beast, and I was like, yay! Yay, she's not a princess, but yay! So I could relate to that a little bit. The Little Mermaid, Ariel. I loved her just because ocean. I love the ocean, and the slow-mo archery with like the arrow flying and like wobbling and then hitting through the other arrow in slow-mo, and it was like, whoa. That was so freaking cool. I love the song Touch the Sky from Brave. I need to learn them. I love singing Disney songs, and I would love to learn it. Okay, the next question, also from Malakato. Can you tell us your best and your worst interaction with a fan? The best interaction with a fan so far is I turned it on and it was blowing cold air in my face. And the worst interaction with a fan was that when the power socket in the wall broke, I was putting it in and it didn't go on. It just, I tried and it was broken. It was, like, you know, you want to have some cool air, and this fan just didn't do the fucking deed. It would not go on and blow cold air in my face. It was the worst. Okay, I don't know, is that, you don't mean fan, right? Was thinking more of a human, but that works for me. You know, that was the problem that I had with that is, I don't think I have fans. I think I have a community with people. Some of them are friends, you know. I would rather say viewers or like community members. My best experience with viewers is when we share passion for a game in general. And you guys, especially the mods, you've become good friends or really good friends or best friends. And I'm very grateful for that. I would say that is the best experience that I have. My worst experience with people on the internet is when they pretend to be me. Like I had a time where they were restreaming my content in my name with my profile picture, with my links, and pretending to be me, and just like streaming it on Facebook or on their own YouTube channel, and just basically stealing my identity. Nothing is as bad as not even a good thing would come out of it. So they were doing that. And we got them blocked and the accounts deleted and everything. But a lot of people came in and say, hey, were you the one contacting me on Discord? Or I saw your content there and there. And we got a few lovely people coming in through that. So it's at least something good as well. Yeah, I don't like the word fan. I don't know. I'm not like a superstar or anything. I'm not like Taylor Swift or whoever, Ariana Grande. I'm just, you know, little old me playing video games from my office here, from my little room. Next question is by Reese's Pieces. In addition to communicating with humans, would you rather be able to communicate with any or all plant life as you choose, or one animal species? I mean, if I would go with plant life, I could see and know everything, right? I could just like have you experienced this? You know, I could communicate with them and talk about the things that they've been through and seen. But I think, can I just say like an overall species? So if I would say canines, would it count for wolves and dogs alike? Because I really love puppies, you know? Yeah, of course. Okay, then I would probably go with that. Every dog and every wolf. If I could talk to, like, I see so many dogs and I just want to pet the hell out of them. I want to play with them and cuddle them, and I love dogs so much. And wolves. I think wolves are so majestic and so incredible and gorgeous. Next question questions are by David. If you could be any animal for a day, what would you be? Now, you would think I would probably say wolf, right? But no, I would probably go with a raven because I would love to know how it is to fly. And ravens are pretty smart, so I wouldn't be like a dumb bird, like sitting on a tree, just chirping around. I could do some smart things. So yeah, I would love to be able to fly for a day or so. And just see the epic nature around me from the top. That'd be so cool. What skills would you love to master, learn outside of content creation? I would like to speak more languages. I would like to learn Swedish, Italian, Spanish, French. That'd be great. I would like to play an instrument. I can just sing a little, but I cannot play the guitar or the piano. I would love to be able to do that. I think it's always so great when people can sing and play an instrument alongside. That would be great. So not necessarily for content creation, just because I would enjoy doing that. Who or what immediately springs to mind that inspires or inspired you in life, firstly as you were growing up and present day? As a kid, definitely my dad. I was relatively close with my dad, although he's not really the emotional, close type, you know. He's more like the grumpy guy, you know. He reminds me a lot of characters like Geralt and Joel. Pretty like rough shell, but in the core a good guy. Maybe that's why I like these characters so much. And what I find so inspiring about my father is, like, he was a bad student in school. He had really bad grades because he couldn't care less about shit. He was not invested in school. He didn't give a damn. But then he worked for a company since he was 15, and he worked his way up to one of the bestest worker in the company. It was a big company, international. There were so many layoffs in that company, and he was always, I think he was the last to go, actually. They closed during Corona, during COVID. At least the place where he was working. I think that, of course, the company still exists in Switzerland and the USA and stuff, but I think he was the last to actually go. And I find it so impressive because he needed some knowledge that you have to study for, but he taught himself. He wanted to learn, he wanted to improve, and he wanted to do better, and so he was interested, and he taught himself stuff that I didn't get in school. And people actually go to university to study these topics, and he just taught himself. And then he was the one guy that they always had to call because he was so specialized in this knowledge that only he could fix the machines and do the thing. So I've always felt that is very inspiring to... And you guys can tell from what I answered today already that I think it's important to be able to teach things yourself. And if you're interested, you need to be able to learn and have that spark of curiosity to sit down and want to learn. I think that is so sad in life when curiosity and the urge to learn is kind of punched out of us in school because school is such a horrible experience for most people. It is so sad. But yeah, and to this day, inspiring. I don't know, the first people that come to mind are Carnage and Dance Gaming, because I think they're great content creators. I really like those two. I love how down-to-earth and Dan are. They're doing this for quite some time, and they're so iconic in what they do. And I wish I would be as focused as can be. I think it's so incredibly impressive how he can handle all the things at once, and how he's instantly mastering games. Like, I need hours and hours in understanding all the mechanics in games, and it's like he's starting it, and he already mastered it. He can already create guidelines and, like, shorts to explain features that I haven't even realized are in the game. I think this is so incredibly impressive, and I wish I could do that one day. Like, I don't want to, like, copy that, but I wish I would grasp the mechanics of a game as quickly as he does. And I just love Dan's entertaining spirit. Like when he giggles and laughs, I have to smile. He really, I don't know. I sometimes wish he would understand how much joy he sparks in other people. I think sometimes he forgets when I see him and his tweets and stuff. But I really look up to those two. I think they're great content creators. What is your biggest pet peeve IRL? Then it's probably tech stuff not working, yeah. I hate when tech is not working as it should be. Nothing boils my blood more than when I sit down and suddenly Stream Deck is not working or some shit breaking randomly, although you didn't touch it. It's like the absolute worst. And it's so, I like to do as much as possible myself, and I love to learn things to be as autonomous as possible, which is why I love to learn things so much. Whether it being stuff, building things, or stuff with software, whatever. I love to be able to fix things myself, but some tech things are out of my hands, and that is so annoying to me. I feel so powerless, and I just am with this problem. I just have to bug other people and ask for help, and I hate that. I absolutely hate that. So yeah, that is right. Tech issues in general boils my blood, or how some people say, boils my piss. I just hate that. Now I want to know the people thing. So if the question would have been about like what bothers me most about people is, I think that I answered that already before, is when people are asking you the most basic questions and expect you to spend your time to answer it instead of them looking it up. In a world like today where all the knowledge of humankind is available in the internet and people are like, hey, you sit down and type the answer for me instead of just typing the same question into the Google and getting the answer immediately. I don't understand this. And it's just, I don't understand the mentality. I cannot relate to this. I don't know. I mean, sometimes certain questions are just like conversation with people. I don't mean that. I mean like literally people coming into asking me, is this game available on PlayStation Plus? How would I know? I play this on PlayStation. I play this on computer. I don't know. Let me open Google for you and look it up. You know what I mean? Like I don't understand this. Like why don't you ask, is game X available on PlayStation Plus? And they would immediately get the answer, and I would have to go and Google it for them, and I don't understand at all. And you can tell from my reaction how pissed off I am. Oh man. Oh god. But I try to laugh it off at this point now because people just won't stop. Like I said, right? You cannot change people. You can just change how you react to it. And I decided to laugh about this. Because people won't change. People will be lazy. If a game is available on PlayStation Plus, even though I don't have PlayStation Plus, and how would I know? But LIZZ is the Ask Me Anything available on PlayStation Plus. Alright guys, next question by Digit. A few questions by Digit. What is your favorite hobby, activity, go-to thing for fun? Hiking, reading, and watching movies and shows. The next best thing after music in my house and my family was always movies and shows. Every time religiously at 8 p.m. or 8:15 p.m. we would watch movies. Or at least one, maybe sometimes two movies in the evening together. That was that's what I still love doing. I love sitting down for a good movie, getting some snacks, a tea, hot cocoa, and just chilling on the couch and watching a movie or a show. I love reading so much. I really love reading. It is like reading a movie basically, because I get these visions in my head. I see what happens in the book basically in my head. So it is like a movie a little bit as well. And hiking and like just going for walks or basically sport in general is great for me as well. I love working out, and it can be just a walk. It can be lifting weights. It can be spin bike, mountain biking, just going for a bike ride. I don't know, just moving, being physically active, or heck, even working out like in the garden, working on stuff, just being physically active. I really enjoy that. I need that. Otherwise I'm fidgeting and like moving around and being restless, and I just need to move. I'm like a dog basically. I'm happy if I get my sleep, my food, and my walkies. Next question, and a bit dark, but what would you choose as your final meal? Every time I hear these mentioned in documentaries about death row, I wonder what I would choose and how such a simple day-to-day choice could be one of the hardest decisions I'd have to make. What would I choose as my final meal? Kebab easy. Burger. I have burger every Friday, you know? Maybe I want to have like my last dinner to be something special. You know what I mean? Like I had a burger every Friday for 3 years at this point, I think. You have to realize that I'm eating a burger every Friday for 3 years. Oh God, guys, that is really hard. I mean, I love pizza. I'm such a foodie. I mean, kebab is great too. I love kebab. I love pizza. I love pasta. I love sushi bowl. I love sushi. I love potatoes with cauliflower or asparagus, and then vegan schnitzel, and then sauce hollandaise. I love wraps. Oh my God. Okay. Decision. Oof. It's like this typical, what is your favorite kind of thing, right? It's like, what is your final meal? Oh, I make a killer salad, by the way. I know people are like, ugh, salad is so boring, but I really make a good salad, and I love my salad. And I was literally saying that I could eat that every day. I would definitely have to be something with lots of veggies because I love veggies. Now I want food soon. Maybe all the food is last meal, yeah. Okay, I'm just gonna commit to saying I want to have sushi bowl. It's gonna be rice, cucumber, a bit of steamed broccoli. There's gonna be avocado and a bit of carrot in there, and there's gonna be lettuce, and then there's gonna be sweet chili sauce, soy sauce, a bit of pickled ginger, and then all of that mushed together with a bit of this fake chicken stuff that we eat sometimes, and then that's gonna be my final meal. It is delicious, it's filling, but also not like you feel like, ugh, you know? That is it. That's the dark answer to the dark question. Sensei Witcher asked, how long would you be able to survive in a forest or other type of wilderness with basic camping equipment which would fit in a hiking backpack? And what would be your strategy? What items are you bringing? I would looking for a place in the woods that is relatively shaded. I would look for a source of water. If not nearby, I would either bring something or craft something if possible to get clean water out of a tree, because you can drill a hole in there and then get water out of the tree. I would either bring a tent or craft something with what I have around me. I would probably bring a book or like two. We have these teeny tiny books that are like wild plants that you can eat. I would bring that with me to see what can I safely eat without poisoning myself and ending up dead. Probably bring some hunting gear. Survival, baby. Like maybe a little bow. Probably a bow. We have a shit ton of survival stuff, actually. We have like this big knife. We have one of those metal things that you can rub against each other to make a spark, to make fire. So I wouldn't bring like matches or like a gas lighter. I would bring this to like be able to always make a fire. I can craft a spear, you know. I can craft my own spear if I have a knife. Maybe a little axe and these teeny tiny shovels that you can bring. I would, you know these little water filters that you can put on your bottle? I would make sure that I have some means to get clean water. I mean, the tree is a pretty good way, but I don't know what kind of situation I'm gonna be in if I'm surviving. It says forest, so there should be trees. I would definitely bring a first aid kit. Tweezers? Yeah, tweezers. Not to plug my eyebrows or anything, but a splinter, a thorn, a tick. You can all remove these with tweezers. And they can lead to pretty nasty infections. All of them. And they can be painful as heck. So tweezers are important. And they don't take up much room. So I would definitely bring those two. How long I would survive? I don't know. Depends on the weather and other circumstances. I mean, if there's a bear walking into my camp, I'm pretty fucked. So maybe I'm dying in the first night. I don't know. So yeah, also depends on the season, right? Is it summer? Is it winter? Is it fall, spring, radioactive fallout situation? I don't know. I would like to believe that I can survive quite a bit. Because I'm quite, like I said, I'm quite interested in these things. So I also read up on a few things and I know a few things here and there, and I want to believe that I would not be like this helpless maiden in the woods, you know, waiting for the knight in shining armor to come rescue me. Also, I have the guns! No, I'm just kidding. Okay, next question is by Bags. Do you have any personal goals you want to achieve anytime coming soon that's not coupled to streaming? For example, running a marathon or getting Omega buffed in the gym, etc. We would like to know. I would like to not have pain anymore in my arm. Does that count? I would like to be able to comfortably run again. I used to be running every day for a couple of years. I used to run twice a day for 1.5 years, every day, 8 to 11 kilometers, and then another workout on the treadmill. So I used to run a lot. I love running. I know many people hate running. I actually enjoy it a lot, and I would like to be able to run better. Like I ran the other day, but with my spine being what it is right now, with the hand and everything, I'm in a lot of pain. That'd be great if that would be gone, and then I'm gonna tackle the running again. I would like to go to the gym regularly, but it's not really like that I have a goal. It's more like I would like to lose a little bit of fat, you know? I have a bit of chonky machonks on my body that I would like to get rid of, but apart from that. Next question, also by Bex. What character in Lord of the Rings would you be, and what character you think you would be if Chet would decide? I would definitely be a hobbit. Yeah, I'd be a hobbit. I'm eating like a hobbit. I'm enjoying a chill life away from drama. You know, I'd be a hobbit. I don't know which one though. You know, I love Sam. Sam is my favorite. In my opinion, Samwise Gamgee is the hero of the book, the story. He's the greatest. Honestly, I would not have the patience. I would not have the patience. I would not have carried bloody Mr. Frodo's ass up that bloody mountain. I would not. I would have said, you know what? I'm done with your bullshit. I'm out of here. I do not have the wish for so much drama. Also, I would have said, Gandalf, fuck's sake, why did you not bring these bloody birds and like just fly over and then toss the ring in there? That would have been so easy. Or put the ring on a mouse so that the mouse goes bananas and then somebody carry the mouse. Because Sam could carry Frodo and not get the effect of the ring, you know? And Frodo went bananas. So why not put the ring on some being that you can just put in a cage and carry that cage like a mouse or a bird or whatever, and then carry that fucking thing up the mountain and then take the ring and toss it in there, you know? Like, it's so much easier. But anyway, yeah. I would have not done the bullshit that Pippin did, although I like Pippin. He's so sweet and he's singing. I always loved him. He's so cute. So yeah, I would be probably one of the hobbits. Now chat, what would you say? Who would I be? Smeagol? Smeagol for the loot. My precious. Too much logic? Sorry. Do you eat as much as Pippin? At least. Smeagol? Gandalf? Okay. Tom Bombadil? Who the heck is that? That's not a character from Lord of the Rings. Is that an actor? Tom Bombadil is a character in the J.R.R. Tolkien Legendarium. He first appeared in print in a 1934 poem called The Adventure of Tom Bombadil, which also include the Lord of the Rings characters Goldberry, Old Man Willow, and the Bearer White, from whom he rescues the hobbits. Oh! God, it's been so long since I read the book. Tom sings. Aha, okay. But does he eat? Because I do. A lot. He has a 30-page song that is totally irrelevant to the rest of the story. Say Tom Bombadil is more powerful than Sauron. Wow, okay. Okay, I'm taking it. He has a pretty nice beard, so I'm taking it. Tom Bombadil is literally an epic being and nobody knows where he came from and the fuck he's doing. Unfazed by any magic, etc. Plus he owns woods, technically, and he sings. Sounds pretty nice. I'd love to be Tom then. The next question is by CM Smiley. What's your least favorite thing about yourself? Could be something physical or maybe something that annoys you that you wish didn't annoy you. About myself. Impatient with myself. When I fail at something, I do not have the patience sometimes to stay calm. I think some people sometimes believe that I'm just angry at others, but I'm just angry at myself if I just don't get things right. For example, in video games, when there's something you have to do and I just fail, I get pissed at myself because in theory it might be simple, but the execution is just And then I get salty and I get angry at myself. And I wish I would have more of that calmness for myself to just try again. And yeah, I mean, I never quit, but I just get like, you know, I get salty, I get angry because I'm impatient with myself, which is not a thing that I do with other people. If I would comment on myself, I wouldn't be like, get it right, come on, it's not that difficult, you know. I'd be like saying, don't worry, you get there, just stick through it, it's fine, you know. I'll be staying calm. But about myself, I don't give myself that. I'm impatient with myself. Yeah, I'm a bit of a perfectionist sometimes, which can be a hindrance. And I wish I could be more calm about those moments. I would say I got better with that when I was playing Dark Souls 3. I mean, there was just one fight where I really struggled, which I know was one of the fights that everybody said it can be so easy if you know parrying, but I didn't master the parrying, so I was fighting that boss 49 times. That was the highest I have tried with any boss in Dark Souls. It was not the Nameless King. It was Champion Gundyr. Okay, so what is your favorite thing about yourself? My honesty. I'm that kind of person that tells you the truth even if you don't want to hear it. Not every friendship survived that. I'm not blunt and I'm not harsh. I'm not like mean. I will tell the truth and I will give you my truth and my honest opinion if you ask for it. I'm not going around shoving my opinion in people's faces, but if you ask for it, I'll give you my honest opinion. I think that is a rare trait these days, sadly. I like that about myself. Next question, L Razor, personal questions. What is an insecurity or fear you have that you feel comfortable sharing with us? Yeah, fear, toads. Yeah, I hate and fear toads. I don't know why, but other people are scared of spiders. I have the same reaction with toads, sometimes frogs too. I don't like them. I'm thinking about insecurity. Depends on my mood as well. Sometimes I don't care. Sometimes things make me a bit insecure. I'm a bit insecure about my legs, I would say. I have pretty chunky legs. They're pretty chunk compared to the rest, I think. And I have a big butt. I have thick thighs and a thick butt. And I was bullied for that heavily in school. When I was growing up, everybody wanted to look like a Victoria's Secrets model, and everybody was wearing those low-raised jeans, and they had basically no ass. And I was running around, and I was already like J-Lo, Beyonce level, you know. And I was called names, and I was beaten and bullied for this. So I don't know. I've sometimes back then I felt very insecure about it. These days, thanks to people like Beyonce and God forbid Kim Kardashian, it's a bit more popular to actually have certain amounts of curves, so it's not that hard anymore. It's not that bad. But still, I really, for myself and in general, I admire a very athletic body, and I'm always trying to get there, but I also love food way too much, so I'm a bit chunk. Oh, well, maybe if I can start running soon again, then getting rid of a bit of the chunkiness. What do you mean beaten? I was beaten. I had a pretty rough childhood. One of the reasons why I'm not talking to my family is because I was raised with beatings, with leather belts and bamboo sticks. And one of the reasons why I'm not talking to them anymore, because I cannot agree with their views. And then I was also beaten in school a lot. We had a very violent school, like very, very rough beating sometimes. And I was one of the victims, especially. I started to be very popular in school, but I did not like the bullying. So when they were targeting people like more, you know, like obese kids or whatever, I didn't care about how they looked or how much they were weighing or anything or whatever, or what clothes they were wearing. So I was friends with them, so I became a target too, but I was okay with that. But I got beaten in school, yeah. I know I'm not alone in this, which is why I think it's important to sometimes talk about it. I feel like it's one of these taboo topics. People don't want to hear it. People don't want to talk about it, but it happens. Not only the school thing, but also the at-home thing, where you're basically bullied or beaten by your family. So that's why I would always say, sometimes in life, if you're very truly unhappy, sometimes you just have to let people go, even if they're family. Screw the blood. Sometimes if you want to be happy, you have to let go. So no worries, guys. I'm the happiest self that I could be right now. I'm okay. I'm not like, this is a past chapter, but I think it's important to speak about it. So it's not something that haunts me these days anymore. It used to for a long time, but I'm okay these days. And I think it's important, like, not everybody can be open about it, but I think it's a topic that if you can talk about it, it might be good for some people to hear. So I'm very open in general. I'm not hiding this, so if you guys have any questions about it, I'm okay with it. I would not be offended if you have questions. I would say I'm not comfortable answering that, and that would be it, you know? My mom hit me once, like in the face, with like, you know, and I wanted to talk to her, and so I was just holding her wrists, and I was like, can we talk? I was calm, I was not yelling, I was just trying to hold her hand so she would stop hitting me in the face. And then she was calling for my dad, and then I got a beating from my dad. So that was the one time that I tried to do something. When I was 18, I went to child service. I was trying to get help from the state, basically. And I ran away to my boyfriend at the time and was living with him for 6 weeks. And I was calling the officials and like talking to them. And then they invited my parents over to talk with them, to like basically tell them what I was feeling. And then, yeah, I don't know. They stopped for a little bit, but the whole bullshit never really stopped, you know? Abusive mentality in words never stopped. So eventually, after one more bullshit in 2016, I walked out of the house and never went back, and we haven't talked since. My mom always said, blood is thicker than water, but what she does not know is that the whole phrase goes, the blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb. So the friends and family you make along the way are more important sometimes than relatives, blood relatives. And that is super true for me. Yeah, what I understand, like I understand my parents were also hit. Like they had a rough childhood as well, but I don't know, like it's a reason, but it's not an excuse. Especially when they told me how much they hated it as a kid. If you hated it as a kid, why wouldn't you do better? Is this why you have scars, marks on your lower arms? Yes. I was hurting myself. I started when I was 8 and I stopped when I was early 20s. So, yeah. I also tried more drastic stuff. I don't want to go too much into it. I don't want to put on a trigger warning, but yeah, I was severely depressed for a long time of my life because of all this. The beating in school and the beating at home and the lack of love and appreciation and just like being loved in the world, feeling a bit lost. And I was different, I guess, maybe now, like in retrospective, maybe because I'm in the spectrum, I've always been different. I never really got some jokes, I didn't understand sarcasm that well and certain humor. I loved things that people in my age never really cared about, like reading books or so. I didn't like the music. I was just different, so I was an easy target. I didn't care too much, but yeah. Have you ever thought of being a parent? I thought about it, and I discarded the thought really quickly. In all honesty, I think I can't have children anyways, even if I wanted to. I have a condition called, or like a form of endometriosis, and I have a lot of pain because of that. So if I ever cancel a stream or if I ever say I'm in pain, I know people are like about this. They don't want to talk about periods and stuff, so I don't want to bore you with details or like anything, but it's a very, 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 very painful thing for me, and it's basically, I have maybe one good week in the month where I'm not in pain or discomfort. So I don't think I can. Even if I wanted to have kids, I don't think I can. What I would love to be is, I would love to be a mom of a puppy. I would love a puppy. I would shower that little fur baby with all the love I have. Yeah, I know there's like leftovers from my past, guys, but believe me, I'm one of the happiest people that I know. Like, from all the people that I know, I'm probably the happiest. I mean, sometimes everybody has like good days and bad days, but I'm grateful for everything that I have. I'm grateful to be here. Maybe especially because of the past that I have. Maybe because of what I've experienced in life, and I'm really grateful. Yeah, thanks. You guys are a big part of why I'm so happy. And getting to do the whole streaming and content creating thing is like one of the biggest parts. Quali is the biggest part, but streaming is streaming and content creation is from the rest that is left over after Quali is that one of the biggest. Very disheartening to hear all of that. I admire you even more now. I have all my respect. Thanks, Avi. What Hogwarts house are you in? I already know, but fun question still. I am a Ravenclaw. I've done the test many years ago, many moons ago. I immediately got into the House Ravenclaw in Hogwarts Legacy as well. I did the test after losing my account again before starting Hogwarts. Got sorted into Ravenclaw again. So I guess I'm a Ravenclaw. If you were an animagus, what animal would you choose to be? So for those who are not Potterheads like me, an animagus is a wizard or witch that can turn into an animal form whenever they choose to. And I would like to be a wolf. If you got to pick one fictional world to live in, which one would you choose and why? You know, I feel so at home with games like Witcher, but do I want to live in that world? Nah, not really, actually. It's like with having kids, right? It's nice to have it, but it's nice to like give it away again after some time. So if you're like an ant or something, it's nice to watch over the little drooling thing for some time, but it's great to give it back to the parents after some time as well. So same goes with games like The Witcher. It's great. I love that game. It's one of my favorites. But do I want to live in the world of The Witcher with Thlene's prophecy and like war between everybody? Not really, no. So I would probably say, if I can, maybe the world of Lord of the Rings after the ring has been tossed into the mountain, because that looked pretty peaceful to me and pretty nice. I would love to live in the Shire with Samwise Gamgee and all the other hobbits and just have like all the good food and just chill there. Looked amazing there. Definitely not in Velen, yeah. Kolkan had a question. What are one of your favorite series or movies? Series, I really love The Gilmore Girls. They're my go-to feel-good show. I love the soundtrack. I love the characters. They're so cheerful. If I watch that, it just brings me in a really good mood. I really love Game of Thrones too. That is a really, really good show as well. Movies, I love Forrest Gump. It has everything. It's funny, it's dramatic, it's a bit like, you know, there's war going on and shooting, but there's also a bit of romance, and it's like fun. It has everything. It has running, yeah, just felt like running. So I love Forrest Gump. It's a good novel, by the way. It's based on a novel, if you didn't know, and the novel is really good. I really love Braveheart as well, because that was an important movie in my lifetime as well. I watched that when I was a kid, and it basically taught me that honoring your word is important. Standing up to who you are, like just being you, and do not have shame to be who you are and fight for what you believe in. There's an important message that I really like. And the soundtrack kicks, man. Like I said earlier. Bagpipes, let's go. Okay, the next question is from Afdal Fadil. I hope I said that correctly, from YouTube. Thank you for including us, your YouTube subscribers, in the Q&A stream. You're very welcome. How do you feel about thousands of people knowing about your personal life, and how do you balance what you want to share online and the things you want to keep private? Well, I just opened this big topic, right, didn't I? I don't think that, apart from this now, that too many people know too much about me, honestly. I mean, I share the things that I'm comfortable with. Before I became a streamer, I already made decisions of what is okay to share and what is not. Like, for example, where I'm living, any details about that, my address, my name, stuff like this. So I would say I'm sharing the things that I'm comfortable with, and even years in the future wouldn't like haunt me if they were still on the internet, you know? Yeah, just like a conscious decision. Before I started streaming and content creation, I decided that I want to do variety. I will not be able to play one game for the rest of my life. That would bore the crap out of me and frustrate me. And so I need to be doing variety, and I will grow a community with that in mind. Even though I have like back then 3 viewers or so, I'm not gonna share where I'm living or stuff like this because that could backfire later on. So I made these decisions early on and then just stuck with it. What's your favorite TV show sitcom from the 90s? Shit, probably Friends? I just watched that for the very first time recently. And it was good. I watched all seasons of it. It was fun. How you doing? What's something you wish you told yourself growing up? Is there any advice you've taken on that you live by? I remember reading that question and thinking about it for a little bit. And I would say that I would not go back in time and tell my former self anything and give any advice, because I know a lot of shit happened in my life and I'm not happy about what happened sometimes and things marked me, but I would not be where I am and who I am today if I would have done things differently. And butterfly effect, sometimes you change a teeny tiny thing and then everything changes. And I don't want anything different today than it is now. I would, if I had to say anything to my former self, I would probably say, don't worry, it'll get better. If I would encounter a person that is not me going through the same thing, I would probably tell them to go get help. Not to sit through this yourself. Because I never had professional help or anything. I never saw a therapist. I never had anybody other than this one person with the child care thing, child service, to talk to my parents once, and that was it. So I would probably tell them to go get help to make things easier. But I wouldn't like to change anything from today. So, long-time community member here, first-time questionnaire. Might have missed the answer, but was there ever a moment since you started streaming you felt, I can't do this anymore, the streaming is too much? Nope. That is the short answer. Nope. I had a moment where I realized that streaming and editing YouTube videos, 20 hours of footage a week, editing that was a bit much, and then I decided to hire an editor for that. That was the only time where I realized, not because I didn't enjoy it, but because I enjoyed it so much and I was investing so much time into it that I did not have a private life anymore. I was just streaming, editing, eating a bit, sleeping, getting up, editing, streaming, editing, it was just that. So that was not healthy, and I realized that if I don't want to burn out and do this for a few more years, then I should probably get some help with the editing. So that's what I did. Another YouTube question from Bozeal. Did you learn English from a British person? I have just noticed you say British words like bloody and mate. I have learned English in school and then I just continued using it. I learned through watching shows and YouTube videos and movies, the ones that I liked and already knew very well. I watched that in English, and then I read lots of books. I started with the Harry Potter books because I already knew them very well. After that, I made a big jump from like Harry Potter, which is like for children, right? And then I was reading the Songs of Ice and Fire books, and I learned so many words. Like that widened my vocabulary immensely. So that is basically how I learned English. Basic school, the rest is basically self-taught through media. Learning the pronunciations through shows and movies, which is why I have such a funny accent. I don't have a German accent. I try to pronounce a bit British, posh British accent with the pronunciation of the T. I try to do that, but I apparently fail. I sound funny. It's just all the different accents that I picked up from YouTubers, from Australia, from the UK, from Scotland, from wherever in the world, Ireland, and the movies and shows that I watched in their language. So it's a bit of a mix and match with all the accents. The next question is from T-Bone. What is your favorite ice cream? We have one locally that is made with coffee. Like it's coffee flavor, and it has a bit of caramel in there, and it has like Oreo cookie crumbles. That is pretty nice. But I do enjoy a standard vanilla ice thingy with like chocolate and almonds around. So those two things basically. Either the cookie, coffee and cookie. I wanted to say coffee and cookie at once. This is what I mean. Like, I'm thinking of two things at once and my brain is like, yep, we mush that together. Oh my god. Okay, coffee and cookie. Cookie. Holy shit. Yeah, so the coffee cookie ice cream, very good. But also the classic Magnum style ice cream, you know? Is Liz your real name? No, it's Lizard. No, it's not. I'm gonna keep my real name to myself because it's pretty unique. It's made out of the two names of my grandmas, and they basically took the beginning of one name and the end of the other name and just put it together, and then voila, they had my name. There's a similar one that is like pretty common for grandmas. So, which is why I never like really loved my name, especially because it's written in a very weird way and nobody spells it correctly the first 3 times they try to spell it. But I've been called Liz since like high school days. So even my teachers, everybody called me Liz. Everybody. So I'm Liz. You know, I feel like I'm Liz. I don't feel like I'm that other name. So if that, you know, it's even my name. I got so lucky that I got that name on Twitch even. So I'm Liz. It's not my real name on paper, but it is me. JD Kiski is asking, do you have a day job? No, apart from streaming, I don't. I am a trained social worker, but I am a full-time streamer since November 2019. Before that, I was just streaming on and off whenever I had the time between working and shifts. I'm like the main provider since 2.5 years or so. So the next question, personal question, is from Kylo Glenn. Do you have a favorite horror movie that is not based on a video game? Ooh, I really like Insidious, I think. And then there's also The Conjuring. I like those movies. I don't think they have any games related to them, but I really do like them. Specifically Insidious. I think that movie is so freaking creepy. Especially this tiptoe on the window, on the tulips. You know that, oh god, that song is so creepy. But yeah, I think that is a really, really good, best song. I think that is a really good horror movie. We have a few gaming related questions. Karis is asking, what's a game you would love to experience again for the first time? I can give you 2 franchises, The Witcher and The Last of Us. I think they're both groundbreaking, amazing. I think they've been like the best games I've ever played. They are my absolute favorites, and if I could erase my memory and play them again for the first time, I totally would, over and over and over again. The Last of Us, emotional damage, Witcher, Chef's Kiss. I love them both. That's why they're both my favorite number 1 games. The Witcher and Cold Cut is asking, would you change anything, mechanics, etc., in any of your favorite games, or are you fine with how they are? Could you give an example if you change anything? The thing is, when I play the games, I have critique, even in Witcher. I would like to change in Witcher 3 how Geralt is running and moving. Because he's walking, like he has the mucho grande cojones between his legs. He's like walking like... And he's supposed to be a Witcher who's like super agile and moving like a cat, you know? Like every move is a bit like of a dance and everything. And he's running. I booted up the game the other day and he's running. The way he runs is like, it looks so clumsy. I love the game to bits, but I just realized like, I was running around through the Red Baron's place and it was like Crow's Perch, and I was like, why is he running like that? Was that always like this? So yeah, I wish it would go a bit back to Witcher 1 and Witcher 2, where he's moving so well in those games. He moves like a Witcher, you know? And Witcher 3, he's moving a bit like a boxer with blue balls. So let's say that. I would like to change that in Witcher 3. Tamauto is asking, will you ever be doing The Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion playthrough? Yes, I will. I promise. At the latest, when the Sky Oblivion mod is coming out. I'm patiently waiting. Then the next question is by user with a bunch of numbers in the end that I'm not willing to pronounce. User is asking, when Stalker? Liz, when Stalker? Stalker is happening when I play it. I wanted to play Stalker 1 before I play Stalker 2, which comes out one day after my birthday this year on the 20th of November, unless they prolong the release again. I'm waiting for my hand to be fully pain-free, and then I'm gonna catch up with games, and Stalker 1 is one of the games on my list. So I'm gonna play it as soon as possible. But brand new game releases have priority over older games. LIZZ, Doom, when? Same thing. When it's time. Next question is by Bad Lord Basil. What is your favorite armor set in Witcher 3? Viper armor. The Viper armor looks exactly almost identical as the Kaer Morhen armor set that is the one that you start with in the game. It looks so freaking good. Garrett is looking so freaking handsome with that thing. There. It's like Kaer Morhen armor, but it has these little scales everywhere, like a Viper. You know, Viper armor. And it looks freaking awesome, and it's gorgeous, and you can dye it later when you have Blood and Wine DLC. And then you can run around in completely black, or completely white, or completely pink. So it's gorgeous. It's the best. Have you ever played any multiplayer games besides single player? I've played a little bit of Guild Wars 2. I've played Elder Scrolls Online. I'm not really an online player, or co-op player in general, or anything. The next question is by Timothy Hart. What was the first video game you played, or the first one you became really immersed? The first video game I played myself... It's a bit hard because I was watching my dad when I was a toddler, and I was sitting on his lap and he was playing, and I was just, you know, sometimes I was allowed to push some buttons. I don't know if that counts. I remember, I don't know in which order, so I don't know which one was the first, but I remember vividly playing Spyro. I remember playing Cooler World. I remember playing Medal of Honor Underground and Soul Reaver. Those 4 games. I love them to bits. They're like pure nostalgia for me. I love them. I remember sitting in my child room with this old TV on the floor, you know, like so close to the TV and just like playing Medal of Honor Underground. I was so excited and so terrified of the tanks. There's a few tanks in that place. Oh god, the sound of that, creepy. Very creepy. But that was really good. The next question, Digital Zombie. I started following you recently and really enjoy the natural reactions you have to exciting or scary moments in gaming. What attracts you to a game or game series? And do you have a favorite genre? My favorite genres are RPGs, action adventures, and horror. I would say in that order too. So I really like a good RPG, but I also like a action adventure like that is a bit shorter. Sometimes I really dig a 10-hour experience if the story is great, like The Last of Us. Ideally, I love when multiple genres mix together, like Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines, for example, the first one, is an RPG in a horror theme. Love it. Absolutely dig that. Absolutely great. So, or like horror survival games are cool too. Like The Forest, for example, is a horror game, but lots of survival. So it's like a horror survival. I love that. It's also great. And how do I pick them? What attracts me to a game? I don't mind the graphics too much. I still enjoy a game from the 90s, but I really like a good story and fun gameplay. It doesn't have to be horror. It doesn't have to be like the groundbreaking story. I just need to be, I don't know, like enjoying it in any way. Either because it's funny or because it's like very emotionally engaging. Razalinto is asking, what is your favorite Resident Evil and why is it Resident Evil 2? Resident Evil 2 because it's Resident Evil 2 Remake, because it was my first Resident Evil that I played. I played the demo when it came out, and then I think 1 or 2 years later I actually played the game, and it made me fall in love with the entire franchise. And then I don't know, I never looked back. I started to play them all. And I mean, there's a few games that I haven't played, like this first-person game with Leon and Krauser, for example, that I still need to play, and some other ones. But I played all the numbered ones from 0 to 8, and I played Revelations 1 and 2. And I have yet to play original Resident Evil 2 and 3. And I would like to replay the ones that are not on my YouTube channel yet. And we will do that. I will play Resident Evil 2 Original after I'm done with Star Wars Outlaws. Looking forward to that a lot. Gandoan is asking, LIZZ, pray when must happen. Pray the game with an E, pray. I have the game. I will play it. Maybe I can squeeze it into October. I don't know. Depends on how my hand is feeling. I think it's a first-person shooter, if I'm not mistaken. So I would prefer to play that with mouse and keyboard. So we'll have to see. Now, another David S, is asking, have you heard that Geralt is going to be in the new Witcher game? Is he now? I did not. Which is funny that how I found your channel when you started playing The Witcher 3. And I was also wondering why you stream in 1080p and not 1440p. I've been wondering about that. I stream in 1080 and record in 1080 because I just have 1080p monitors. I don't know if I could record any higher. That would be upscaling, would probably look like crap. So 1080p it is for me at this time. I don't have the hardware for it at the moment. I could probably with my graphics card and everything, but I don't have the monitors. So I don't really know how this works. I would have to look into it. I mean, it works fine, so nobody's complaining until now. L. Benson, or I. Benson, I don't know what letter that is asking, what game are you most looking forward to being released? I'm loving Star Wars Outlaws and really looking forward to the new Life is Strange. I'm looking forward to Life is Strange Double Exposure. I'm very much looking forward to Silent Hill 2 remake and the remaster of Until Dawn. Excited for Stalker 2, it looks absolutely incredible. I'm really looking forward to Kingdom Come Deliverance. I have yet to play the first one, but it looks already like I'm gonna love it. So I'm excited for Kingdom Come and Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, which is releasing. I'm digging how Avowed looks like. And Fable. I love Fable. I played so much Fable 2 in my life, and there's a new Fable coming out, so I'm looking forward to that. And then there is a GTA 6. 2025, 2026, and then Little Nightmares 3 as well. So these are the games that are coming out in the next year or so that I know are coming out and that I'm aware of and that I'm looking forward to. Rajin Damiano, will you play classic Resident Evil 2 and 3 from GOG? Yes, I will. I have the bundle for Resident Evil 1, 2, and 3 original, and I'm gonna play all 3 of them. The first one is already out. Viva Video Filmer is asking, as a person who was born in the 2000s, I'm born in the 90s, but I appreciate the compliment. How do you relate to older games from the 90s and early 2000s? Is it fun? Can you get over the graphics, the clunky controls? Do you appreciate it, what these games do? I love to play games from the 90s. I play PlayStation X games from the old box. I play them every year, a few of them, and I'm currently working through Resident Evil originals, and I played Silent Hill, the first one, and I love these games. Most of the time I enjoy these games more than I enjoy modern games. I think they have a specific charm to them that is just unmatched. Even though I never played them back then, it feels nostalgic to play them these days. They have like a certain vibe. The dialogue is often very humorous. The gameplay might be clunky, but I don't mind. Like, I just have to get used to any controls in any game for myself. And I can play clunky controls. I really don't care. It's no problem for me. I don't know. I think they're very charming and cool. And I love, especially with like stuff like Resident Evil or Silent Hill, that a franchise that has been growing and developing over the years and is still active these days. I think it's amazing to see where it started and where it's going. I think that is very interesting. And it must be cool to have been a gamer back then, to play it back then when it was still the newest stuff and the craziest shit and like in mind-blowing graphics, and it looked so realistic back then. And then you play today and you look back and you can compare and see this development basically through time, whereas I don't know, I play these games these days, and but I still enjoy them and I still appreciate them. And I don't know, I know lots of people are very graphics focused, so if the game is not looking like, you know, like ultra realistic Unreal Engine 5 style, then they won't touch it, but I don't care. Total Bonkers is asking, as you are my support character in the zombie apocalypse. Yeah, they made a character and it's LIZZ, and I'm following them in a zombie apocalypse. I was wondering what game character from a zombie franchise you'd pick to be your partner. Leon S. Kennedy from Resident Evil 4. And I'd be screaming, Leon, help! all the time. And then he would have to carry me when I'm jumping off ladders and stuff. Yep. No, he's just badass. He's not over the top like Chris Redfield, punching boulders and stuff, but he's cool. He has skills, and he's cute. So, yeah, and he's honest and loyal. You know. I was thinking about Ada Wong, but Ada Wong is just gonna cross me, so... Dr. D-Box is asking, Liz, can you play Reanimal when it releases? And what phone do you use? I have a Motorola. Don't ask me the specifics. I don't know. It's a Motorola. But it's gonna go away soon because it's the battery is dying. Reanimal, I would have to quickly Google that because I don't know. Wait, is it from the same developers as Little Nightmares and stuff? Reanimal? Is that from this? Is this from... Because it looks great. So probably yes. It looks great. I just saw a few screenshots now. My internet refuses me to properly research things, but it looks like it's gonna be like Little Nightmares, and definitely a yes. Yeah. Kylo Glenn asks, has there been a game that you were so really excited to play that you ended up being so disappointed with? No. I don't watch trailers. I'm never really super hyped up with games in general to manage my expectations. I don't like having expectations. I like hoping sometimes, but I try to not expect anything in life. I don't think I was ever super hyped up about a game and then disappointed. The last two questions are about art and emotes. Cold Cut was asking, since you're doing all your awesome emotes, thank you, by yourself, how long does it take to create an emote in average? Are there some emotes that took much longer? Static emotes usually take for me, depending on how detailed it is, but I don't take longer than, I want to say, 90 minutes tops if it's a very difficult, detailed one and I'm not getting the perspective right at first or so. I would say on average maybe an hour if I start from scratch, like sketching and then drawing the outlines and then shading and coloring and everything. If I do animated, it depends. Most of the time I draw all the layers myself. If I'm drawing an emote and it's animated, I draw every frame myself. For example, the run emote is like this. Like all of these pictures are hand drawn. And then that means that I take a picture and then I slightly draw differently, or sometimes I have to start from scratch because they're too different from each other. So that means I'm starting from zero then, and all of these are hand drawn. There's no software that I use to warp things around or anything. I draw a different layer for each and every one of those. One of the more complex one as well was the LIZZ or the LIZZ Vibe. These can take hours to get right so that the animation in the end is fluent or relatively fluent. You can see there's some jittering around, but like drawing the hair movement and the little how they call these threads coming out of the hoodie and stuff, animating that was a bit tedious. And one of my favorites that we can now finally use on Twitch, because before it was prohibited, this one. It's not that difficult, but drawing that was pure joy. I mean, look at that. Look at this gloriness. Look at that butt. Yeah, so that was... Drawing these by hands can take some time. It can be a few hours to get that done. Minimum, I would say, like the fastest emote that I've ever drawn, it was 5 minutes, and that is these two. I used the base. Like, I drew Quali's emote. You can see it here, the yellow one. That took me 5 minutes. That was the fastest emote I ever made. It was literally like, bam, done. And then I thought later on, it's so cute, I wanted Chonky doing the same thing, so I just chonkified it, basically. Yeah, that was the fastest emote. The longest emote is probably like, I don't know, 2 hours or so. But that's very rare. The next question is from Sarah. Sarah just joined the Discord server. Welcome in. I've always wanted to know, what is the original story of your emotes, and does the lizard have a name? It does have an original story. I told it a few times already on stream, but I'm happy to tell it again. I was just starting my channel and I was called LIZZ_plays, and I was looking for some kind of mascot for my emotes. Like most people use their cats, for example, or their dog because it's cute and it's a real being that is involved in the whole process. Like in the stream, you see the cute pet running around the background and stuff like this, or bunny or whatever. And I wanted something as well, and I don't have a pet. So I was thinking what would make sense. And then one day on the Discord, somebody posted the meme saying, imagine you would call your daughter Lizard, and then her nickname would be Liz, and then her friends would be asking, hey, is that short for Elizabeth? And she would have to say, no, it's for Lizard. And I was like, that's perfect. We're gonna be the lizards. So I made a few different designs of Chonky, which is the name now. Back then, it was just a lizard without a name. It was just a lizard. Eventually, I was drawing this emote, the LIZZ. This one here. I was drawing that, and people said, oh, he's so cute, and look how chonky he is. And then I said, oh, perfect, that's the name then, Chonky. So that is the story, basically. We are Liz and the Lizards, and the green fat lizard is called Chonky because he's chonky. All right, guys. We did it! That was a very unexpected long stream. I did not expect that it would take us that long. I thought 2-3 hours. Maybe the stream is gonna be a bit short today, we shall see. And here we are. We had a really long chatting stream and Q&A stream. I hope all the questions were answered. Maybe one day we're gonna do another Q&A. I had lots of fun with that.